Good evening, Trade Flare family. Welcome to the nightly breakdown where we break down what happened today in the stock market as well as give you an idea of what we're looking at into tomorrow. So over to the first key point, and the first key point is Jerome and the labor statistics that are coming out tomorrow. Everybody is expecting for jobs to be coming back at a pretty quick rate. If we see jobs not returning as fast in the report tomorrow, then we could see a reaction from the market. If we get a bad jobs report, I think we'll see some downside action, especially going into next week's CPI report. And this could be the start of some volume, some volatility, and some action to the downside. A lot of people are going to try and price in the next inflation report, and we'll also hear from Powell next week as well. Next key point is the retracement that we saw from the memes today. We saw a lot of halts, we saw a lot of energy and momentum slow down from these stocks. The only one that really squeezed this morning was Workhorse. No one really knows what's going to happen next, but I do think that these could go higher. Right now they could be forming some sort of bull flag pattern. It's happened before with GameStop. These things kind of form mega patterns or like mega bull flags, mega head and shoulders. It'll be a few days if you really know if the buyers start to give out or if they have the strength to take this thing up one more time. Key is to get shorts to actually cover, and it's showing right now that the shorts are not actually covering it. They're actually shorting it more this time. So there's actually more squeezing that could happen, or the goal of the squeeze was not for this to happen. So there's a lot that could happen in the future. One thing's true is that volume hasn't really slowed down yet. People are still waiting for the gamma or the short squeeze to actually happen. So let's see and wait what happens. On the other side of the play, I do like that value play. I would love to see a rotation into value and start to see some action from these stocks. I think that banks and oil have been really hot and can stay really hot, so I'm really keeping my eye on these, especially. And the third key point that I'm looking at is the sample account that we are starting for Trade Flare Live. So we're only going to start with $250. We're going to add $50 a month as a deposit, and this is to prove to y'all that a small amount of money can go a long way. And this will help track the success of our plays in our Discord, and it'll give you an idea of how much you would have made if you followed along. So let's head over to the SPY and get an idea of where we're at and where we're looking to go into tomorrow. So looking at the 15-minute here today, and notice how we gap down today. We had some pretty nice selling pressure into the morning, and like I had mentioned, to look for these head and shoulder or these reversal patterns around 416.50, and that's exactly what we saw. We saw head and shoulders around 416.50, and we saw that reversal, and this continued into the rest of the day. I think we're really looking at this 416.50 level as a support line, because if we go back into the range then to look above and fail, then we would target the bottom of the range at 410.50. Looking at what happened today as well as what could be going on next week with the inflation data coming out, as well as Jerome Powell tomorrow and the jobs report, I think we could be seeing some red into tomorrow morning. So we have a shorter watch list tonight, but first up on the watch list is Apple, and they were red today, but we were still respecting the trend line that we have been looking at. We still set a higher low, and I think that the tech sector tomorrow is key if the SPY wants to get going anywhere. There's actually a lot of volume traded today on Apple, and this makes me think there's going to be some moves soon. Next up is Bank of America, and I like how there's a lot of volume. I like how there's a lot of bullish sentiment around these banks, and I think that these are going to be something to watch for intraday trades. If there's a lot of volume tomorrow, I'll look to take a day trade on this one. I like the banks a lot. Next up is Walmart, and looking at the daily here, notice how we've been kind of stuck in a range here from 144 to 141 or 140, and we had a hammer candle printed here yesterday, and then we printed another hammer candle here showing that we're rejecting lower prices right off of this support line. So I think we could see some buying and see some, especially in this value rotation that we're seeing. We started to see consumer staples up today. XLP was up today, 0.6. They're actually the leader out of all the sectors. So I'm going to be watching these grocers, especially Walmart, into tomorrow. Next up is Disney, and this is also one that has been doing a whole lot of nothing. But if you notice here, we were trending down, but we actually created a higher low, and we're actually in an area where I think that momentum could start to pick up. I like Disney a lot, and I think that they got a lot going for them, so I'm watching them here at these levels, and I'm looking as a long-term investor and as a swing trader. Next up is CCIV, and today we saw a lot of volume again, just like yesterday, and I really do want to see if this thing can get some of that meme energy or some of that squeeze energy that it was getting towards the beginning of the year. It's starting to look exactly like all of these other growth stocks that have just peaked up and then squeezed and then came right back down. But the volume is something that you want to look for, and the fact that it's there is something to take notice of. So I'm really looking at this one. I'm looking at this level at 24.27 to break, and I think that we go a lot higher if that breaks and with some volume. I think a lot of people are shorting CCIV. I personally want to short CCIV, but in this environment, valuations and value don't really matter about price, so I'm trying to play the technical analysis side of it, the trading side of it. And lastly is eBay. eBay had another great day, and we had them on the watch list last night. I sent out the technical analysis that I was doing, but we had a long body green candle on the daily, and I think that this thing could go higher all the way to all-time highs. We've got a little bit of room all the way up to 65.11. If we break that, I think this thing could really get going. There's a lot of volume and a lot of buyers are buying this thing for the long term. And that wraps up tonight's shortened nightly breakdown. If you got value out of this video, make sure you hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a video in the future. If you're looking to get a part in all of this action, then join the Discord. The link is in the description below. Upgrade to TradeFlare Pro for the most value. And disclaimer, we are not financial advisors, nor do we claim to be. All of the information inside these videos is risky and should be used at the sole discretion of the member. And do not forget that time is your most valuable asset, so quit wasting it. Get up, get out, and go get it, my friend.